Welcome to Thriving Tribesmen. My name is Kuri, your host, and I'm excited to be making this episode. So yesterday I had a situation with my wife that we were meant to be going to a circus. I'd booked some tickets. Generally on the weekend, I tend to leave it for her to relax. Like I said, I generally do stuff around the house, do the cleaning, do all the stuff. And again, none of it is to get sex or to try and get sexual favors. I just do it because I wanted to rest. I wanted to relax. And generally, we sometimes do theme parks. We do stuff. We do try and break up the weeks by putting some events that we're going to do. But it's sporadic because my wife has got fibromyalgia. So therefore, sometimes because she struggles to sleep. So Mondays or the weekends, we try and get her to just relax and rest and do all of that. And we try and preserve that because it's really important for that she recharges for the next week. Because unlike some other people, she does live a life of pain, and we try and make it as easy as possible for her over the weekend. So generally, when I do plan stuff, it's usually pretty local and try and keep it local. Very rarely do we go further away. So she's a teacher, so generally right now, when schools runs in the UK, they run for 7 weeks, 6 to 7 weeks, and then they put a week off. And right now we're now in that week off. So I knew that with the week off was coming up. So in order to start that week off, I just thought I'll book circus. And this is a sort of a high production type circus. So I thought, yeah, that'll be really cool. And it was an hour's drive away from where we live, which is normally what I wouldn't do on a weekend if she's going to go to work on a Monday, because it usually when it's an hour's away, by the time you do the experience and then by the time you do travel back, that's at least 4 or 5 hours. So that's pretty much a chunk of your day gone. So generally we try and not be caught up in that sort of stuff so she can get some rest. So because I knew that Sunday was going to be relaxed now because I was going to I've taken over all those things. I wanted to relax. And I also knew that Monday she doesn't have to go to work. That would have been a cool way of spending our weekend because it just doesn't matter if we lose a large chunk of the day. So that was my thinking anyways when I booked it. And when I booked it, it was going to start at 2 o'clock. So because I work nights, I woke up I was going to wake up at about 11, half 11, and then get ready and then try and leave for 12:30 because it was 1 hour's drive. So, but what I didn't take into account was a major accident. So, because there was obviously going to be traffic and there were some major roadworks, which made us have to go further way around. So, my biggest mistake was that when I woke up, I didn't check the traffic immediately, because if I did, I would have been able to adjust the times and then left in due time. So I checked the time at about 12:15 in terms of the traveling time, and then realized that we were going to be late by about 15 minutes already, because the projected time was for us to arrive at 2:15, and I was like, oh, god damn it. So all of a sudden I said to my wife, we need to leave right now because we're going to be late to this thing. So all of a sudden we now have got this push to try and get there. And then she was really getting frustrated pretty quickly, like, how come you didn't wake up earlier? How come you didn't check it earlier? And then it moved on to, why did you book it so far away? Why couldn't you just book a circus somewhere close by if you wanted to go to a circus? Why do you even decide to go all this far away? And if I knew if it was 2 hours, I wouldn't have agreed to it. So she was going through this stuff, and she was frustrated, and she was right to feel frustrated, because obviously I prioritize sleep over the planning. And again, it wasn't out of selfish because I wanted to sleep. That was me trying to be rested, because I knew I was going to be the one doing the driving. So I didn't want to then drive my family feeling tired. So again, I thought an hour and a half was enough, because I knew that it's going to take us an hour to get there. But I put that 30-minute buffer, but obviously that 30-minute buffer was never going to be enough for what we're going to do. So the whole interaction was happening, and she was getting more and more frustrated. And generally, when within Reignited Men, all the guys that I speak to, is that generally when your wife is frustrated, what you don't want to do is, when you're being shamed and being blamed, then you just allow it to happen to the point where it becomes disrespectful. And in this case, yes, there was some blame, and I took blame for it because obviously I'd a lot of misjudgments when it came to in terms of executing the plan. I think the plan was a good plan because I was going to spend time with her, my wife, and spend time with my daughter, and that's and we're going to do this shared experience. So that was my idea, and it was something that I wanted to share as our family. But the execution was not that great. So as she was doing these complaints, I said, you know what? You're absolutely right. You've got every right to feel frustrated. And this is an important teaching piece. I acknowledged her frustration. So this is where most guys sort of fail. They see this blame, they see this as maybe shaming. When that starts happening, they become very defensive, and sometimes they become apologetic for the idea. Now, I didn't apologize for booking the circus. Never did. I didn't, because I knew that was the right thing for our family and for us to have a shared experience. I did apologize for my execution for the plan, and I said, yeah, I should have woken up and checked the time for the travel, and not just that, maybe I should have just sacrificed, woken up at 11 and made sure that everything was okay. So that was my bad. I took blame for that. And as she continued within the frustration, after I'd acknowledged that, okay, this is what I've done wrong, and you need to now start taking into account all the information that okay, there's nothing we can do to change this. I took a stand up and I said, you know what, I get that you're frustrated. I just need you to stop now because it's not serving us right now. They said, no, I'm entitled to share my frustration, which is what the conversation was. And by the way, my daughter was in the car when this interaction was happening, because I know a lot of you guys try not to have those interactions where you are going back and forth in front of the children because you feel like you're sort of protecting them. But I wanted our daughter to see that if a situation goes wrong and somebody, you can look at your places of fault and acknowledge and say, you know what, yeah, I messed up on this bit. But at the same time, you need to stop, which is now me establishing a boundary and say, you know what, this is not serving us right now. You need to stop right now. And that interaction, by me doing so, you got to, the one of the guiding feelings around this was that there was, for her frustration, was now making my frustration build up. But one thing that I didn't do was give in to anger. So get angry and then say something out of anger. I stuck to the facts that, okay, yeah, the facts here is that I messed up in terms of the timings, but the overall decision to book for this thing was a good thing. And I want you to see that this is okay, but shit happens in our life. So you got to have to deal with it. And that's basically what it was. And me doing that obviously made her even more angry. So, because now she's feeling frustrated and she knows that she's got no control of this situation. And I think the other bit that was very interesting is that because this whole interaction happened, I wasn't feeling angry. And this is where most guys, they feel angry, or they take this self-pity route, like, oh, woe is me, I'm such a failure, and they implode. And again, none of that serves anyone. So I just kept this sort of level situation where I just kept it consistent. I didn't get upset. I didn't get angry. I just kept it cool. And while she was getting even more frustrated, and you could hear these sighs of every time we saw some traffic, every time we saw a brake lights, just sighing and just trying to show this level of frustration. I was non-reactive to all of that. And by being non-reactive, it means that when she got over it, we could carry on and continue having the enjoying the day. And we got there. We were 20 minutes late. We missed part of the act, which was fine. And then she still was trying to show that she was frustrated. But then I kept a cool head, started enjoying it. I was clapping, I was enjoying, I was smiling, I was, interacting with people. And again, this then showed that any other any from that place on, if she continued being angry, that was on her. So she just needed to either let go and continue, let go and enjoy the rest of the day, or just maintain this. And she knew that, okay, if I maintain this, I'm the one that's going to look like the dick. So she had to start getting over it. We were now there. We've managed to make it to the place, and then we're going to enjoy this experience. And I can tell you that the rest of the day ended up becoming a very good day. And even though the important piece was that if I reacted in anger, that would have spoiled the rest of the weekend, and then that would have gone all the way for 3 or 4 days. And this has happened before. So I already knew that the way I handle this is very important, because if I can maintain a state where I'm just neutral, and I'm neither getting angry, I'm neither getting frustrated, there was a little frustration built up on my part, and that's the reason why I set a boundary, and I said, you know what, the way you're behaving right now isn't serving us right now, or serving the situation right now. You need to figure out how, in fact, it was me saying to her, you need to figure out a way for you to get back to a place where you can just accept that this is where it is right now. What's happening is it's already happened. So, like I said, the real lesson in this whole episode here, what I'm trying to convey, is that when you get into these interactions, especially where your partner is now beginning to blame and shame you, you need to keep that neutral state. And when you maintain that neutral state, it's very empowering, because it gives you that opportunity to actually distinguish what are the facts. And again, it makes you see that, okay, if you've made a decision, the fact that you made a decision is a good thing. If there's some problems with if there's some problems in executing that decision, and it's your fault, then you can acknowledge and say, you know what, I can see your frustration, and you're entitled to have those frustrations, and that's absolutely spot on. You're entitled to have that, but I'm also taking the blame for this, the execution here. Yes, I was wrong. And then anything else that they feel after that,